Yo, Beth. That shit crazy.
On a Saturday, it's All Even with your boy Barry Grant. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at All Even Podcast. You can listen to the show on SoundCloud as well as YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, and wherever you find your podcasts available. What a lovely Saturday it is. Lots to get into. NFL, Russell Wilson's situation, the Sam Darnold situation. You know, both situations are very different, but, you know, both teams need to figure it out quickly. And not in the same way, but they need to figure it out quickly. And then my favorite segment on a Saturday, Phone a Friend, is back with my boy Peter Bishop. So we're going to talk about everything NFL, everything basketball related, and he's a Nets fan, so we're going to have to go into that as well. And then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. So let's just jump right into it. Had to take a little hiatus for, a little over a week or so to kind of get things in perspective for myself. When we're run down and beat up a little bit, like, we tend to need to take a step back and evaluate things and, see if you want to continue to take those beatings or you're going to do things a little differently. What's funny about it is that in the same time that I was taking my little hiatus, Russell Wilson has been running roughshod in the news talking about, hey, I may want to get out of Seattle. Not saying that I am pushing for a trade, but, here are these 4 teams that I possibly would want to go to. So Russell Wilson, who has been, a consummate teammate, he's a little passive aggressive in his approach. That's just how he is, which is fine. That's who you are. And what we're seeing out of Russell Wilson is frustration. We're seeing a man that has been sacked the most in the NFL over the last 5 seasons, and frankly, he's had enough. He doesn't want to get in anymore. He doesn't want to take this type of beating anymore. He also probably doesn't want to be in this type of offense anymore, this boring, plotting, we're going to run the ball first, we're going to play situational football. Like, okay, you want to do that, that's great if you want to run the football and be a running team, but you can do that when you have an offensive line, when you actually have a competent running game to do these things. But instead, Russell Wilson has nothing. There's nothing on this team that's impressive. They have DK Metcalf, which they fell into. They haven't drafted well over the last 7 or 8 years. This team is bad. Russell knows it. And he's voicing his frustration with the organization, with the actual roster, and with his head coach. It's a lot of things that he's not happy with. And for me, I love it. I love it. If it's not my team, I am going to enjoy it. I'm going to revel in it. I am going to applaud it. Because at the end of the day, the Seahawks have always thought that, Russell, he's great. He's one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. We don't need a line. We don't need this. We'll be able to still win with Russell Wilson here. Uh-oh. What if he's not? What if Russell Wilson actually wants out? And out of the 4 teams, which team actually makes the most sense? Let's go to the Bears. Bears, if they trade for Russell Wilson, what they're going to have to give up, they're not going to have a team left over. They are slightly better than Seattle offensively right now. So I don't think that that's a great fit. What about the Saints? Saints would be an awesome fit, but what would they have to give up to get him? Kamara, maybe Michael Thomas, maybe some good defensive pieces that they have. So no, that wouldn't be a good fit either. What about the Las Vegas Raiders? Hey, it's appealing. His wife can be able to have shows every week and be in rotation there. It's a great city. It's a good pub. All of that. But on the field, does it make sense? No, they would still have to give up a ton. And I think the Raiders right now, they love their quarterback. They love Derek Carr. They don't want to move on from Carr. Carr had arguably his best season, and they don't feel that they're willing to give up on him right now. So, Raiders are out, which leaves the Dallas Cowboys. Now, yes, I know you guys are going to say, oh, well, he's being biased. No, it's not about being biased. It makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it? For a team that doesn't have much draft picks to stand on. They gave up 2 first-rounders for a box safety that didn't help their defense even the slightest. To be able to possibly get a Zeke or an Amari Cooper or maybe a D-Law, that would be appealing to the Seahawks, wouldn't it? What also would be appealing to the Seahawks would be a Dak Prescott trade. Sign the franchise tag, call Todd France on the phone, negotiate the deal, have that trade executed, and you're just swapping problems. Dak Prescott is a huge thorn in the Cowboys side right now, and so is Russell Wilson to the Seahawks. Wouldn't that make the most sense? It would. Because honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I don't think that this relationship between Russell, John Schneider, Pete Carroll, it's not going to get any better. Because they can't make it any better in regards to draft or other types of flexibility that they can possibly create. They can't. They're capped out. They don't have any money. They don't have any resources. They have no assets. Where are they going to be able to improve this team? Russ knows it. And he's just carefully plotting his exit. And that exit may be leading him straight into the Dallas Cowboys. Makes all the sense in the world to me. It's time to face facts that Dallas is not going to get a deal done with Dak. And Russell is not going to be truly, truly happy in Seattle based on what we've heard recently and what we know that they're not going to be able to make this any better in the near future. So why drag this out? Dak gets a fresh start with a Hall of Fame head coach. He can be able to be in an offense and get his money and be fine. The Seahawks will still win with Dak. I don't feel like they're going to completely drop off the table. They'll still be competitive, absolutely. So I don't see that that's a lose for the Seahawks. I really don't. Same thing with the Cowboys. If they're 7 wins with Dak, they'll be 10, 11 wins with a Russell Wilson. So it works out for both organizations. It's time for them to get on the phone and have some conversations. The next situation I'd like to discuss is one I've talked about already, is the Sam Darnold conundrum that the New York Jets find themselves in. Sam Darnold is due 2 more seasons in regards to his 4th and 5th year options, and the Jets are contemplating what to do with their young quarterback. But my confusion is this. Everybody's talking about Zach Wilson. Everybody's talking about Justin Fields. People are talking about Trey Lance, not as much. But you're going to trade your 23-year-old quarterback that has 3 years of NFL experience for a 21 or 22-year-old quarterback with no experience? I need to have somebody make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Zach Wilson may be better than Sam Darnold? I don't know. Book is still out. We don't know. He hasn't thrown an NFL pass yet. He hasn't had a snap. But what I do know is this. The Jets had the worst offense in all of football last year. All of football. One of the lowest graded offensive lines in all of football. Probably the worst outside skill receivers in all of football. Probably the worst tight end in all of football. You can be able to argue that. And all of this was under a head coach that had no business being a head coach. So how bad is Sam really? We don't know. We really don't know. Because the team hasn't been good enough. The weapons haven't been there for you to say, yo, he's missing this pass. He's missing this assignment. He's not recognizing this particular defense, and he has a good team. He's the one that's causing this team to be bad. No. The bad team is causing this young quarterback to look bad. That's the issue. Why give up on him? And I hate this notion that we have these new regimes that come in and they want their guy. What does that mean? What does that mean? Don't they trade for players? Don't they do that? So you're trading for a guy that's not your guy, but he's on your team and he's productive. What sense does that make? Talent is talent. Why not try to correct the talent that you have rather than trying to, quote unquote, or potentially start from scratch? Why? You have a NFL quarterback with 3 years of experience under his belt that you can be able to surround with good weapons, young talent, young receivers, a pretty good line, pretty solid defense. You got a new head coach now, new offensive coordinator that brings some pizzazz and some excitement to the city, to the team. Why not give Sam a chance? Why even go through this? Why even answer calls? For what? You see what the Giants are doing on the other side? They're giving Daniel Jones another look because you have to, because they don't know how bad he is. They don't know how good he is until they give him a competent team to really have a fair evaluation. Jets just going jet. That's what it feels like. Jets going jet. Okay, we're going to draft this quarterback a couple years. Okay, well, we're going to do everything in our power to screw this kid up, but it's his fault. His fault is he's the reason why we can't get a touchdown on this drive. He's the reason why he doesn't have any time to drop back and throw the ball. It's all Sam's fault. Yeah, some of these Jets fans, oh, well, he hasn't proved. Have you seen the team that you've been watching? What are we talking about here? They suck. They're bad. But it's all Sam's fault, right? It's not about the head coach that looks like one of those idiot bartenders from the 80s movies. No. It's not his fault. No. It's all Sam. It's all Sam. No weapons to throw to. All Sam. It's his fault. His fault. It's nonsense. It's jet nonsense. Fans who think like this, and if the front office is thinking like this as well, it's typical jet behavior. And it needs to stop. Until it stops, they will never be a good organization. They will never be a consistent organization for winning. Because they have this jet going jet. Jet going jet mentality. Like, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's circle talk. I'm going to trade a 23-year-old kid for another 23-year-old kid. But I promise you, this 23-year-old kid is going to be better. With what line? With what weapons? So you're gonna give that kid all the weapons. You're going to give him all the help, but the other kid didn't deserve that. It's dumb. It's just dumb. But what do you expect? It's the Jets. Coming up after the break, Phone a Friend with my man, Peter Bishop. On a Saturday. It's all even. I've had so many people tell me that Anchor is great. Anchor is this. Anchor is that. But I have to tell you, man, those people were right. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your own podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Why wait? Get at it now. Welcome back, y'all. So now to my favorite segment, Phone a Friend.
Call him up, 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 call him up. We competing for a reason, trying to stay undefeated, yeah. Call him up, 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 call him up. Biggest game of the season, don't lie, we're all leaving, yeah.
Who we have on the show today is a very good friend of mine. It's my brother. I've known him for a long time. We talk sports. We argue sports a lot.
Yes.
You know, we are on the opposite sides of most things. We are Met fans. You know, we love our Mets. He's a Nets fan. I'm a Laker fan. He's a Giants fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. So you already know how this thing can get. This interview may just go off the rails. It may just go off the rails.
I'm gonna be good. I promise.
Yeah. My boy, Peter Bishop, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you for having me. I just want to say, happy to see you doing what you're doing. I've always said you should have been doing this forever because this is your wheelhouse.
Yes.
And it's just a natural fit. So, just want to say congratulations on everything, man.
I appreciate it, man. The fact that you're giving me my flowers early and then you're gonna berate me later.
Of course.
That's very fine. You know,
the disrespect will come later.
Yeah,
definitely.
let's just get all the nice, kind words out now.
Yes.
Before,
Let's pretend like we're friends.
Exactly. So, the NFL, Bishop, is interesting. Like my point of view about the NFL right now is that it's starting to mirror the NBA.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily think that's a good thing because you're starting to see a lot of people request trades and they want out and all these stuff. But we know that the cap is not designed for that in football, right?
Right.
And, in the NBA, you can match salary for salary and there's no penalty for another team to be able to trade you. And what are your thoughts about the new landscape of the NFL? And do you think that this is a good thing, or do you think this is going to have severe ramifications going forward?
I don't have a problem with it only because the rights of the players is so disproportionate between the rights of the players and how much power the owners and the organizations hold over the players.
Yeah. That
I don't see a problem with them when they get to the point where they have enough power to exercise it. I don't have a problem with them exercising it.
Okay.
It's different from the NBA only because not everybody could do this. Like, you're not going to be a running back over here talking about, I demand a trade. All right, they'll let you go. You know what I'm saying? They'll just cut you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they just hold you there and you just sit on the bench over there and we'll get somebody because they're not carrying that kind of money.
Like the Melvin Gordon situation.
Right. Yeah, you go over there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you pout in the corner. We'll just continue.
It's you want $2 more? Okay, we gonna think about this.
Yeah, exactly. But when you get to it where it's the quarterbacks, they're gonna be able to exert their power because they get so much money from the organization and the organization invests so much in them that they can, exert that power. And it's different because with me with the Deshaun Watson situation, I feel like he feels like he was lied to as far as certain things in the organization. And then it was just the organization, he lost all confidence in them. It started from before, from when they got rid of his number one wide receiver,
Hopkins,
you know what I'm saying? Hopkins, you know what I'm saying? For nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Then they traded away the first the first round draft picks in the next 2 years, I think it was.
For Laramie Tunsil.
For Laramie Tunsil. So you already showed that you were an organization that didn't know what they were doing, right? So then now you're going in a different direction, and all I asked for was for you to just involve me in what's going on with this new direction. You invested in me in the future, so I got to make sure that I want to be a part of that future and make sure we're on the same page. And from from what it sounds like from jump, they lied to him off rip, and they just went in a different direction than he wanted to. So that's what forced his hand. I was like, you know what, it's time for me to go. So I don't have a problem with him. Same way I don't have a problem with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, if you look at the way they've drafted
Awful.
over the years, it
Awful.
hasn't been good. And for the most part, it's been on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
Aside from Metcalf, who who's great, who's a good player, but look at the wide receivers he's had over his career. He's never had any real true weapons wide receiver wise.
Yes.
So, and they had Marshawn Lynch as a running back, and you get a little complacent when you have somebody like that, a workhorse back like that. They've never replaced his production.
No,
you've never been able to replace his production.
You're definitely right. I mean, like, for with the Houston the aspect that, that situation is a little interesting to me, because I agree with you that he's lost a lot of trust within the organization, but I like to play devil's advocate, right? And they are doing the most that they're like, they knew that Bill O'Brien was a mistake. Giving him full autonomy was a mistake. They fired his ass, right? And they said, okay, we're going to try to do things the right way. We're going to separate our GM from our coach and make sure that we have a structured organization, structured staff, structured, franchise. And hopefully you can be able to see that we're trying here and we're trying to move forward. Like, they got David Culley as the head coach. They got Lovie Smith as the defensive coordinator. Like, I like their staff, Pete. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, for Deshaun Watson not to at least give it a year. Just give it a year to see how it works. And then say, listen, if it don't work, if I don't like the way things are going with this new regime within this year, I'm out. I'll be all fine with that. But for him to not give them a chance while they're trying to fit, like, they understand that they made mistakes. Like, it's clear. Like, they've never come out and said, they never come out and say, well, what we did was right. Like, all right, we fucked up. Like, we understand that, we wilded out. So they're trying to correct it. I would really want him to give them at least a year, because go ahead.
My only thing with that is, they changed around, the staff and everything like that, but then you still have a dude who's a chaplain from other teams who's the one that's giving all the advice. This dude, what football knowledge does this dude have to be influencing the organization the way he has?
He's getting it from the Lord.
Only in Texas. In Texas can you have a chaplain running the football organization and everybody think it's cool. Come on, son.
When they ask him to say, listen, where are we gonna get our next GM for? He's gonna say this: the Lord will provide.
The Lord will provide. Stop it.
That's what
I can't, son. Like, that's just crazy. Could you imagine if the Giants or the Jets that they were having a chaplain give the advice to the organization? They would be killed for that.
I don't even know if you would be able to find that poor chaplain. I don't know. He wouldn't be able to go to no church and do nothing, because fans would protest. Fans would find him wherever he's at, and they would want him out. Yes,
they would.
So
yes, they would.
It's an interesting dynamic, but I understand both sides of it. I remember, Brandon broke the news to us like what was it, like a month or a little over a month ago or so, 6 weeks ago, when this was going on, and me and you had the same mindset as like, all right, this may have some legs here, but for a 25-year-old quarterback, a franchise quarterback, to get traded, that's nuts.
In the NFL,
in the NFL, and now it's like it's becoming a thing. But here's a question for you, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Tom Brady's success winning the Super Bowl, calling his own shots in Tampa Bay, has given these players a little bit more bravado to speak up? Because think about it. If he would have went to Tampa Bay and didn't have this type of success, obviously he can make the playoffs, but if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, do players actually really feel like their voice matters? Because what Brady did in Tampa Bay is control the narrative. He said, I'm going to take $25 million and you can spend the rest of this money on getting guys that I want. Get Gronk, go get AB, go get Fournette, go, fill out this roster and we can really compete. Does that success that he had really make guys say like, yo, I want that? But on the same argument or different argument is that the money, they want to move, but they're not giving up the money that Brady has given up.
Right.
So
I think it's to answer your question, I think it's different. I don't think that they're taking their cue from Tom Brady. I think that they're taking their cue from NBA players. Okay. To be honest with you, I think they look across and they see, all right, yo, these dudes have such and such power in the organization. They hold a certain amount of leverage and they're like, yo, they use their leverage. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the NBA players, they do what they want. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna use their leverage to whether it's to get from team to team, whether it's to allow them a platform to speak about things that they want to speak about. And I think it's more of a case of, from all the social justice stuff that's been happening over the years, and players in the NFL more and more starting to speak out, and especially after what happened to Kaepernick and everybody realizing that, he was blackballed. Yes. Like, I think a lot of players are like, yo, if I don't say anything, it's worse. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just go along to get along my whole career and it doesn't work out for me, at the end of the day, what are they going to say about me? You know what I'm saying? It's my legacy. It's at the end of the day, it's my legacy that's on the line. Yeah. So if I sit here and let the organization make all the decisions, and I never once try to say, yo, maybe they'll listen to me. Maybe if I say, yo, I want this, I want that, they'll work with me to get to where we need to go. And then we both of our ultimate goals is to win a championship. Right. At the end of the day. And if me saying something to the organization helps them to see where I'm coming from, and it'll give them more investment in it too. It gives the quarterbacks and the players more investment into the organization too. Like, yo, I made this decision, so I got to make it work. Oh, right. You know okay. I see that point. Yeah. So I think that's what they're trying to do. And it's just from everything, yo, you got to speak your mind. If you don't speak your mind, nobody will ever know what you want. Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really what it boils down. I really don't think that they're taking their cues from Tom Brady, to be real with you. Tom Brady's he's a special case. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom Brady's a special case. He already had 6 rings before any organization is going to listen to what Tom Brady has to say. You know who Tom Brady reminds me of, Pete? He's a Scarlet Witch. He's a Scarlet Witch. He is Wanda from WandaVision, because what world he lives in, it don't exist. Exactly. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how one man can be able to just destroy people's fun this way. We are tired of seeing Tom Brady do what he does, but listen, it's kudos to him, man. The one person that I compare him to is Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is one of the greatest winners in sports history. Brady's up there as well. Yeah. And their sustained success at the top was due to their sacrifice. Right. Yeah, and they both took less. Yes. To get more for the organization. Right. So, listen, man, I hate him, but I gotta respect him at the same time. But you can't help but respect him. You can't. And as a Giant fan, I can say that he's never beaten us in the Super Bowl. I had to sneak that in there. This is why Giants fans have no problem with Tom Brady. Like, hey, go ahead, win as many Super Bowls you want. You ain't never beat us. You ain't never beat us. That's it. You ain't beat us in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. I'm mad that the Eagles got theirs too, because now we're not the only one. But it's the NFC East now. NFC East, he can't handle us in the playoffs. That's all that matters. Now, where do you think Deshaun Watson ends up? That's a tough question. Yeah, it's hard. Because he can go anywhere, man. Like so many teams are like, yo, he could even end up in Washington. Like, it's crazy. Like with how many teams need quarterbacks this year. Like they were saying, like some of the guys on ESPN were saying, like, this year might be the biggest quarterback carousel that you've ever seen. I can see that, definitely. Yeah. And you just don't know. He could go to Carolina. They seem like they was putting pieces together to try to make a trade, which again to me wouldn't make sense, because why, if you're Deshaun Watson, do you want to go to Carolina? Yeah. If they about to give up McCaffrey and a whole bunch of picks? But like, that's why
Yeah,
Go ahead, go ahead.
isn't that the same situation that he may face anywhere he goes though, Pete? Because his contract and his talent level is not going to allow the Texans to take anything less for him. So
Right.
if you're a team that's trading for Deshaun Watson, you're gonna have to give up the farm. And what do you have left? It's like the Jets. The Jets have one of the most unique situations in football. They have the second most cap. They have they have space at quarterback. They have all of these draft assets and capital,
Yeah.
but they're going to have to give up a lot of that just to get him. And the thing is, what are you going to have left to build that team?
Right. See, with the Jets, that's why for me, from day one, when they said the Jets should trade for Watson, I never saw it because you need so much on that team. Like all those draft assets and all that cap space and all
They
that.
need
You
all
need
of it.
that.
Yeah.
You need that to build a good team.
Right.
Like the place where I can see him going to is a team that's already built with weapons and a good defense that all they need to do is bring him in.
Yeah.
They don't that team that team wouldn't need the draft capital. They wouldn't need the draft. So they could trade draft picks for the next couple years and give it to them and they'll be all right because they're already established. They have the weapons, they have everything that they need to succeed and to win a championship. And they wouldn't necessarily, need all of that to try to build a team. If you're the Jets, you're trying to build a team.
Yes.
Like, they were terrible.
Terrible.
Yes, some of that was the coach. Some of that was Gase.
75%. 75%.
I'll go 50. I'm not gonna say 75 only because I seen some of that talent and yeah, man, you got Mims on the outside, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You got no tight end.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had Frank Gore running the ball the whole season.
49 years old.
You know what I'm saying? So you still need a lot. You know what I'm saying? The defense is okay, but the back end of their defense wasn't that great to me.
All they got is Marcus May, and that's it.
Yeah. So and that's just a safety. That's not even your corners and everything. So you got so much that you need if you're the Jets. I don't know. I don't know how you would trade for Watson and then still build a successful organization in a timely manner. You could do it eventually, but does he want to wait?
Right. And
I think
I don't think he does.
Yeah, the whole reason that you make a move like this is not to go from another one rebuilding situation to another.
Correct.
You do this so you can try to win.
Right.
So if you're trying to win, you can't be looking at the Jets. And from what people have said, the Jets weren't really high on this list. Now, the Dolphins, that might be a team that he could go to that their defense is good. Their offense is not far away. So all you would need is a couple pieces.
And they can give back that first round pick that they gave to the
get back their pick.
Yeah.
And they can get a quarterback if the Dolphins are willing to trade Tua back.
Yeah.
So you get a young quarterback, you get picks, that's a place where I could see him landing if he goes anywhere. I'm still not sure if he's even going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he has to.
Yeah,
I think he has to because he's making a little, it's making it uncomfortable as the Rockets said they were comfortable being.
Right.
But after a while, that's not going to rock, especially with your starting quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, because I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really can't pinpoint a team. The Dolphins are a good spot. But like you said, it's tough. And the thing is, they're not even taking calls for him right now. And at some point, they're going to have to answer the phone.
Yes.
So but let's kind of segue into the Russell Wilson situation. Then we'll talk a little Giants football. It's, I want to know what you think they need because you're very heavy into the draft. So I am, I'm a Cowboys fan, and just hear me out, okay? What if Jerry Jones says, "Screw this Dak Prescott situation"? You're gonna either sign this tag, and then we're gonna agree to trade you to Seattle. So we get a Dak for Russell trade, throw in a couple second round picks. I mean, our first round picks. Maybe you even throw in Zeke. Throw Zeke in there. and what do you think? Is everybody saying that Russell, he doesn't necessarily want out, but how Russell Wilson is that he's a man of faith. You
Right.
know, he's a family man. He's a very nice person. He's a bit passive aggressive. I think this is his way of saying, I want out. Like he doesn't want the smoke of being the bad guy and saying, I want to trade. But the way he's going about it, I can't see him wanting to go back to Seattle because there's a few things.
Okay.
One, I don't think he wants to get hit anymore. He's tired of leading the league in sacks.
I'm sure.
Number two, I really believe that him and Pete Carroll are in a power struggle. I think that he's tired of having this team be a run-first team when they don't have a great running game. That doesn't make sense. You don't have a great running game. Continue to run the ball.
Doesn't make sense at all.
You have Russell Wilson. Let him go for 5,000 yards every season. Who cares? Throw the ball. 85% of the time. Who gives a shit? But I think that's the thing. And also, too, I think Russell understands that John Schneider, the GM, is terrible. And they're not going to be able to get better with this guy at the helm. So what's the sense of continuing to stay here? So my thing is, if I'm Dallas and Dak Prescott comes out and says, I want Patrick Mahomes' money. And you saw what I did on my IG, Bishop. You saw what I did
with the
yes,
with the thumbtacks.
Yes. I am done with Dak because for him to think that he's going to get that type of money and you're not a top 5 quarterback, he's smoking something. And my thing is the only way to get out of this if I'm Dallas is 2 options. Because I don't believe that signing Dak is an option. So 2 options is signing the tag and advising him that he's going to go to, this is agreement with Seattle that he's going to go to Seattle. Seattle then gets on the phone with Todd France, works out a contract extension. They get that done. And that's option 1. Option 2 is Dallas says to Dak, we are going to let you test the market. We're going to see what your value is on the market. Not saying we don't want you, but we need to know exactly what other teams value you at because you probably want $40 million from us. You ain't getting $40 million from somebody else. You may take 35 and 4 from somebody else, but you're not going to take that from us because you feel that we owe you more money or you feel that we disrespected you. So you need to give us we need to pay a little more. That's what Dallas needs to do because I'll be honest with you. If Dallas lets Dak walk and everybody's saying, oh, they don't have a quarterback. Give me Ryan Fitzpatrick for a year. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Fitzmagic for a year. That boy, he'll throw 4,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, 27 picks. I am all right with that.
I'm okay with better than Dalton.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like Dallas has more options than they're actually playing in public. Right. But they don't want to seem like they're disrespectful to Dak. But this thing is played out to the point where I don't see that there's going to be a resolution, Pete. I really don't.
It's a little tough. If I'm the organization, then I would do the second one. Yeah. Which is, go test the market.
Right.
Listen, we still want you here, right? We just don't want you at the money that you think that we should give you.
Exactly.
So, test the market. If it's something that we feel we can match, we'll match it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But as an organization, you got to be ready for the fact that maybe somebody may get from that, which they probably won't. But just in case somebody does,
and you have the right to walk away.
Right, right. Or he takes less and goes somewhere else anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you just got to be prepared for that. All right. So what's our plan B? What's our backup? So like you said, Fitzpatrick, they might want to draft a quarterback.
Yes.
Mac y'all at number 9, right?
No, we had 10. 9,
right?
We had 10.
10?
So
Okay, 10.
I would prefer them to take Patrick Surtain at number 10 and maybe see if they can be able to, get another pick later in that draft and probably go get a Mac Jones.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean? So that would be the perfect scenario. But
you wouldn't want to move up and try to get a quarterback like Zach Wilson or
I mean it's tough to move from 10 to win the top 3. It's very tough, especially that now we're gonna have to think about getting rid of
maybe we have to get rid of Amari, or we have to get rid of. I'm not touching CD Lamb. Nobody touches
no
CD
way,
Lamb.
no way, no
Okay?
way. Nah, but I mean, you could probably still get away with like a couple picks in this like first round here,
It's
first round
possible.
next year.
Yeah.
Like you can get away with that and move up a little.
Yeah.
It's just you don't know what the Jets are gonna do. That's the only
Right.
that's the only thing. You don't know what the Jets are gonna do. So if the Jets end up taking Wilson, or if they're taking, or if they trade down, then somebody else jumps ahead of you for a quarterback.
Right.
So it all depends on how the rest of the teams are looking at stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would, like I said, if I'm the organization, I would, tell Dak, yo, listen, we would love to have you here. We want you to see what your number is out there, and whatever your number is out there, you bring that back to us, and we'll see if we can work something out.
And I don't see that as disrespectful. I just feel that sets your value on the market. Like, I'm bidding against myself. I don't want to bid against myself. I want to see what the competition is. Right. Like if your agent feels that you would Pat Mahomes money, all right, cool, prove it. Prove it to me.
Exactly.
If you prove it to me, then I'm like, you know what, you were right. We'll go ahead and match this.
Yo, that's the thing. Yo, if you believe that that's what you're worth, right? I'll put this franchise tag out there for you.
Don't sign it.
Don't sign it.
Right.
Go see what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? And if you're worth what you say you're worth, bring that back and we'll see if we can work something out. If we can't work something out,
then you got that offer. Yeah, you got that offer, and you can go ahead and do your thing.
Exactly.
Like
either way, you're gonna get your money.
Either way, you get your money. They should have did it
get your money either way.
They should have did it last season. But Jerry Jones, he's put himself in this corner, and I don't know how he's gonna get himself out. He needs to call me because I know exactly what to tell him. Tell him that get the step in. Okay.
See what happened with them is they made the mistake of paying the running back, and paying the wide receiver before they paid Dak. Right. So now he sees what they got. Right. He sees the performance that they did afterwards, and you like that gotta he's looking at Zeke like, yo, you got all that bread and you don't do nothing.
Right. And also too, they allowed him to see what Mahomes got.
Yes.
You see, and also Watson. So he got Mahomes and Watson. He's like, oh, okay, it's cool. Well, if you don't give me 42, then I'll take this 39.5 right there. Like, there's, I listen. I'm gonna move on before our pressure goes up because I don't want to go crazy on the Cowboys.
I got a question for you though, because I just want to know, how do you feel about your coaching situation?
All right.
That's what I'm curious about.
Here's the truth. Right. I don't hate McCarthy, but I'm not a huge fan of him either. He's like McCarthy is he's in the middle to me. He's not a bad coach, but he's not a great coach. He's right there in the middle. So it's like he's very vanilla. You get what you get with him. What makes him what gives him his cachet is the Super Bowl ring. Right. But he did it with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You can't win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Something wrong with you. Hint, Matt LaFleur, what you doing? So it's like, I can see, I would rather the Cowboys in 2 years or a year from now kind of look towards a younger coach. Like, if I wanted Lincoln Riley from day one. I wanted them to take Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma, give him the bag, 10 years, $10 million a year, $100 million contract. And let him and just let him grow with the organization. But the thing is, Jerry is like Vince McMahon. Jerry is not going to give up any power to a coach. The last time he gave up any power to a coach was Jimmy Johnson. And we all seen how that worked out. Like, he fired Jimmy Johnson after they won the Super Bowl. Who does that? Only Jerry Jones, an egotistical owner that wants to have his hands in everything. That's why a Mike McCarthy works, because he's a yes man. He's not going to ruffle any feathers. He's going to say whatever, Jerry wants him to say. He's not going to tell Jerry that he can't go in the locker room and speak to the players. Like, that's what Jerry wants. Jerry wants to be hands-on. So that's the problem with Dallas. And Dallas won't win consistently until Steven takes the team over fully. That's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, because he kind of reminds me. Jerry kind of reminds me of Jerry Krause, actually.
Yeah.
When you think about how he wanted it to be his way, and he was willing to break everything up and mess it up
because he wanted
just
all
so
the
he
credit.
can get the credit.
Yes,
that's it, and that's all Jerry. Jerry wants to validate. I still think he's trying to validate firing the coach back in the day. He's like,
Jim Johnson, yeah.
He's trying to I fired Jim Johnson, but I was still there. I still made some of those decisions, so he's trying to win that chip to prove that I did the right thing and it was me all along. And
no, you're 100% right. I think it
hasn't been working.
I think Jerry is still trying to prove, like you said, I think he's trying to prove to everybody that he knows football, that he's a football guy, that he's a football lifer. He understands what it takes to find talent and all that stuff. Because and the thing is, I don't know how much more credit Jerry wants. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the most decorated, respected, trailblazing owners in sports. We're not even just talking about football. All the things that Jerry Jones has knocked down in regards to certain things, doing his own things, getting his own, when the NFL was doing this sponsorship, he was like, no, my team is gonna have this one. That's Jerry Jones. So all you see now is because of Jerry Jones. And I don't know what more he wants. The only thing left for him to do is get a Super Bowl. So just let Steven do it. Let Steven do it.
Listen, man, when a person is that, when certain businessmen, they're so prideful.
Yes.
And especially when you're so successful in every other aspect of life. Right. And here's this one thing that you can't succeed at.
It burns you.
Has to eat. Gotta eat at him, man. You gotta eat at him. He's like, I gotta make this work at least one time. And once he does it one time, I think he'll go off into the sunset and let his son take over and be chill. But I think he's feeling the pressure.
He is.
I think that's what it is. I think he's feeling the pressure. He's like, this is taking way too long. I keep messing like this. It's not working out the way I want it to. But I've been successful in every other thing I've ever done. I could do this.
Right.
I could do it. And it just hasn't been happening for him.
It's 25 years. There's 25 years.
Yeah, it's a long time, man.
God damn it. All right.
Listen. You preaching to the wrong one because I am not sad for y'all in the least bit.
I know. And this is
not in the least.
This is not cathartic to me. This is not therapy because you're just gonna make me feel like crap. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about your Giants. Now, the Giants last year, Pete, they impressed me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I think Joe Judge did a hell of a job.
Perfect.
As a head coach. I think he proved himself to be a head coach in this league. He has the detriment. He has the respect of his players. He has the respect of his peers. I like the way he goes about business. Now, you're gonna have Saquon Barkley come back next season. Hopefully he'll be able to be the Saquon of old. The defense wasn't too bad this year.
No, definitely not.
I do feel that there's some offensive pieces that you need to plug in there.
A tight end.
Yes, Evan Ingram may need to go. Now,
no, there's no may need. Evan Ingram needs to be gone.
Now think about this. Do you think that it's smart for the Giants to convert Ingram to a wide receiver and draft Pitts?
No. Because the problem with Evan Ingram isn't him blocking. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he can block. Yeah, anyway, but that's not his biggest issue. His biggest issue is dropping the damn ball. He drops the ball, and then it's not that he just drops the ball and they just fall. He drops the ball into the hands of the other team.
Yeah, it leads in the interception.
It always goes. Yo, if you look back at the years that he's been in the NFL, and you look at Eli Manning's interceptions, and you look at Jones' interceptions, majority of those have been when they targeted Evan Ingram. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm good. Look, I understand he's fast. I understand he's athletic. I understand he's a strong dude. When he got drafted and I saw him at the combine and everything, I was like, oh,
he's talented.
Yes,
talented, man.
This is what we need.
Right.
But he has not been successful. And at some point, you need to just cut bait and be like, yo, I'm sorry. Thank you for what you've done so far. but we got to go in a different direction.
Now,
Like,
do you think that it's a lack of concentration with Ingram, or is it just the fact that he has stone hands?
I think it's stone hands. I don't think it's a lack of concentration because more often than not, it's not like he's, the ball's getting up on him too fast.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the arm talent where the quarterbacks are throwing bullets.
Yeah.
And it's just too hard for him to catch the ball. Nah, man, he's getting like the ball is there. I see his hands up. More often than not, it hits him in both hands and it goes up in the air and it's an interception. Like in both hands. So I can't. I'm good. Like I already said it. I hear people always try to say give him a chance. Try to convert a wide receiver. But listen, he's not getting separation from linebackers.
Okay.
So if you putting him at wide receiver, what is that gonna do?
Yeah.
Now you're going up against a faster corner who can stay with you.
I hear you.
know what I'm
I hear
saying?
you. Now,
So I don't. He'll make a play for you here and there, but
yeah.
it's not enough for what he takes away from you.
So your thing is let him walk and go find talent elsewhere. Now, what do you want to see the Giants do in the draft?
Wide receiver first round. That's the first and foremost. We need a wide receiver.
Okay.
We have two good wide receivers. We got Sterling Shepard that's there. But he's more of a slot.
Yes.
Or number 2. We also have trying to remember what's Money's name on the outside. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Who's Slayton?
Slayton. Yeah.
Yes.
Darius Slayton. Like, I like him. He's definitely not a number 1 though.
Not a number one. Not a number 1.
On a good team, he's a number 3, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he plays bigger than that sometimes.
Right.
But he's still not that. You need that big body or home run hitting wide receiver. And
right.
Just because sometimes when they found him in the 5th round, right? Slayton. So that's a good talent pickup for the 5th round.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can see the difference from when you get a wide receiver in the 1st round.
Oh yeah.
You get a wide receiver in the lower round. Like there's just that polish to their game.
Yes.
It's like the sharpness of their routes. There's a reason that you're gonna be in the 1st round as a wide receiver.
Right.
And that's the type of player I think that the Giants need. They need somebody that's gonna give you that threat. You know what I'm saying? Like Odell. Like when you watch being a Giants fan, watching Odell every week, you saw what he could do. He can break a game open.
Yes, he can.
One play. He'll take a slant. You're on the 20-yard line. He'll take a slant to the house 80 yards in the blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need that kind of dynamic player. We don't have that right now. We don't have somebody that's going to vertically challenge a cornerback. Like we don't have any of that. As far as weapons go. So I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have right now.
Now it's very interesting because I'm looking at CBS Sports. They have their mock draft, right? And they have Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher out of Miami, dropping to you guys. 6'7", 265. He's a beast. And would you believe me if I told you that they have Devonta Smith going 17 to the Raiders? Do you think that he drops that low?
I'm gonna tell you one thing. CBS has had the worst mock drafts I have seen in my entire life.
That's what I'm looking at because I always like to compare between the different sites and stuff. I'm looking at this and it's like, how does this make any sense? How does Devonta Smith go 17?
One of my friends from work, Eric, he always sends me like the stuff that because he's a big Giants fan and he always like sends me the different like whatever rumors are coming out, blah blah blah. And every time he sends me a CBS mock draft,
you don't even open it.
It's terrible. I look at it, I'm like, what are they? Like they're just guessing. Like he's like, I think sometimes they just do it to be different.
Yes,
because it's crazy.
Son. You know what?
Like,
you might just be right, Bishop, because if they end up being right, they're going, oh, well, look, we told you. Like, you're nuts.
Yeah, like, it's so ridiculous, some of the stuff that I've been seeing.
I'm going to read off the top 10 to you. And obviously, the first one is locked in. Trevor Lawrence, they got Zach Wilson going to the Jets, Jamar Chase at 3 to the Dolphins, Justin Fields at 4 to the Falcons, Penny Sewell at 5. I like that for the Bengals. That'd be good. Trey Lance going 6 to the Eagles. They better not touch Trey Lance. If there's one quarterback that I want the Cowboys to get, is Trey Lance. Make sure you try to get him, Jerry. All right. 7, Jalen Waddle to the Lions. I don't see how Jalen Waddle will be the second wide receiver off the board, but that's just me.
Nah, Waddle's up there.
Nah, Waddle's nice.
Waddle's up there.
He ain't better than Smith.
Nah, he's definitely not.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But you know what? No, you know what they said that. Remember, before Jalen Waddle got hurt, Smith was his backup.
Yes. Smith stepped in.
Was his backup.
Smith stepped in, but what Smith has shown, you know what? You're right. I think the fact that Smith had such a dominating season, I think everybody's starting to forget how good Waddle is.
Remember last year they was doing rock paper scissors to see who's gonna get the routes.
Yeah, and also and Jamar Chase opting out. A lot of people forget how good he is as well.
Right.
So yeah, I get it. You know, I think we're in the prison of the moment, but I think 10 spots is ridiculous.
Nah, that's a little crazy.
Okay, so now they got Patrick Surtain going number 9 to the Broncos, which is foolish. Then no, Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech going to the Cowboys. No. So who do you see realistically the Giants target at number 11?
I think their target at number 11 is going to be whatever the best wide receiver available is. I think that's who they're going to take. So whether it's Jamar Chase, whether it's Waddle, whether it's Smith, like any of those 3, I could see them going with. Yo, just to tell you how crazy, because I went back in my phone and I found the last one he sent me.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Wilson from CBS Sports, right? He said that the Giants were going to take offensive lineman Elijah Veron Tucker at 11. That's who the Giants was going to take.
Elijah Veron Tucker. I don't even see him on the board.
He's a USC offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think he's I think he has a second round grade, doesn't he?
Yo, look at it. Look at it. This is it right here, so I'll show you on screen.
Yeah, he has a second round grade, bro.
Yo, son, I don't know what they be doing at CBS. They are terrible.
Well, listen, that guy, Josh Edwards said, "Hold my beer." Josh Edwards said, "Hold my beer," because I just, and listen, kudos to you guys at CBS Sports. Like I'm not trying to throw shots, but this is just I don't understand. Like I would need some context in regards to why they feel that this draft is just going to be turned on its head. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're like maybe they're predicting trades to happen and it may bounce around certain priorities. Who the hell knows? But yeah, I agree with you. I think the Giants do need outside help. Hold
on. Yo, another one. I don't know if my computer. Oh, I clicked on the the top draft prospects or whatever, and I don't know how they knew I was looking at the Giants, but a screen just popped up on my computer, and it said Giants select Kwity Paye at number 11.
Who the hell is that?
A defensive lineman. Oh, right here, number 8. They got him listed as number 8. Kwity Paye out of Michigan. He's a D lineman, 6'4", 272.
Okay.
So this is another one that CBS Sports. Son, it's crazy, son.
I don't think the
Giants. And this is the same Ryan Wilson dude.
Yeah, they don't need a defensive lineman. That's not needed.
The only way they need a defensive lineman is if they let Leonard Williams walk.
Right, and which they're not going to do.
They're not going to do.
They're not going to do that.
They can't. So they'll at least tag him again before they let him walk.
There's some talks here. It says Tom Brady and Bucks to rework deal. He may be giving back some money. Interesting.
I mean, he wants another one.
I hate this man.
Because they have a lot of free agents.
Yes, they do, and
they have a lot of people that they would need to bring back.
Expect Tom Brady
in order to get everybody back.
He may take $50 million this year, Pete. He may end up. He doesn't need it.
That's the thing. He's so different than every other quarterback because he has a rich wife, you know what I'm saying?
He makes like $90 million off the field.
Off the field, all his off the field endorsements is crazy. So and then he has his his TB12 business or whatever. So like he don't need the money from the contract.
You know what? Shouts to Tom Brady, because that man tells you, like, listen, we always make the comparison about Brady and Manning, and Manning has always had the talent. Manning has always been the smarter quarterback.
Right.
Manning revolutionized the quarterback position. But Tom Brady
Right.
looked at it from a different angle. He said, yo, I'm not that guy. I'm not as talented as Peyton Manning.
Right.
I'm just going to be the best winner, and I'm going to give back this money. Like, why doesn't everybody do this?
Because everybody doesn't come from that background. Everybody don't have that other crutch, that security blanket of, yo, even if I don't make it, I'm still going to be rich.
But,
You know what I'm saying?
but Russell Wilson has that. His wife
Russell
is
Wilson
rich.
got that. Yeah, but she not Giselle rich.
She's not
bro.
just nobody's Giselle rich. Nobody's Giselle rich. Nobody's Giselle rich. She is obnoxiously rich.
Yeah, like she got bread, man. So like, and that's the thing. Also, you got to also think about where they come from.
Yeah.
So when it's minority quarterbacks and stuff like that, I mean minority players, period. They usually come from humble beginnings, and they usually take care of everybody else back home.
That's true.
So it's just, even culturally, it's a whole different situation. Yeah. Like it's like, yo, you don't turn away millions, bro.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to make sure you're trying to make sure your family eats for generations. You're not trying to just look for now.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I think some of them look at it different. And then going back to Deshaun Watson, in his case, like, yo, he's already lost a year to injury. You know what I'm saying? And wasn't he injured in college also? Didn't he have an injury? I could have sworn he had an injury in college also.
I believe so.
So if you looking at it like that, you gotta also remember, like you were saying, just give him a year. But like sometimes, like especially with football,
there's no
guarantees, and you never know what's gonna happen from day to day, man.
Well, hell, man, look at what happened to Dak Prescott, right?
Yeah.
He ended up not getting the money, and then his leg was on backwards, and now he's still trying to negotiate a long-term deal. So it's tough, man. But
exactly.
What do you think? All right, Giants need an edge rusher. I mean, Giants need a wide receiver. We established that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that Daniel Jones is the answer at quarterback, or do you think that this year will be his final evaluation year, and then maybe next year they go ahead and move on from him? What are your thoughts on that?
This year will definitely determine what they do with him long term, because I think this is the year that they have to determine whether they're going to pick up his 5th year option.
Yes.
So if he can continue on the trajectory that he was last year, where he cut down on the turnovers and the game started to slow down for him, and he can make plays. Like, I think he has the talent.
Yeah,
he definitely has. He has the arm talent. He can make any throw, because he puts some passes on people.
Nah, man. He does. He
can make the deep throw. He can make the short throw. Like, he has the arm talent. He can make you miss in the pocket, and he can, as you can see from that long ass run he had. Listen, I don't fault him, because I've done those runs before. Yo, it's the worst when you're running and you can't see nobody else around you. Yo, that you start to get in your head, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't fault him for falling. I don't fault him for falling. I know how it is to try to run that fast on the cleats, and I understand.
Oh my God.
But and he's probably never had to do that before in the game.
That's true too.
But like, he has all the gifts that you need to be a starting quarterback. He just needs to be able to hold on to the damn ball. And
now,
if it's a hand problem, if he has too small of hands to deal with that, then it sucks, but you got to move on. But you can't have a quarterback that's going to give up the ball all the time.
That's my thing. Like, like I said, I agree with every point that you made. Like, he has all the skills that you need, but if he keeps putting the ball on the turf, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you're putting your teams in bad spots. You're now giving your defense short field to try to figure out and try to stop a team from scoring, and that doesn't happen in the NFL.
Yeah, not only short field, but you're also not giving them any rest.
No rest.
If you're giving the ball up, or if you're going 3 and out every down or whatever, that means the defense is only on resting for 3 plays, and then they back out there. Eventually, even if your defense is good, which the Giants defense was pretty good this year, a big problem that they had was they'll go through these long scoring droughts, and they never get a chance to rest. So you hold them, and then eventually you get tired, and then the other team is just gonna take advantage of it.
It's true. It's true.
Giants were in every game. Yo, they were in the game against Pittsburgh. They were in every game that they played against,
Yeah.
even against Tampa Bay.
That's true.
Every
Yeah.
game. They were in every game except for the 49er game. That just, I don't know what happened there. And the 49ers didn't even have their full squad, and they just blew the doors off us. But
Right.
that's whatever. But every other game, we were in it. And they play a type of defense which is bend but don't break. And that's okay, but you got to be able to score if you're going to do that.
Yes, exactly. That was the Chiefs 2 years ago. They had a bend
Right.
don't break defense, but that offense carried the weight. So
Exactly.
be able to win that way. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you can't and I understand what it is. The defensive coordinator realized early on in the year that, all right, we can't play man.
Yeah.
Like when we play man, we get destroyed.
Right.
So if you know that you can't play man, you got to switch something up. At least he made the adjustment to go zone more often than not. But when the problem is when you play against a team that has a lot of weapons, they pick you apart.
Right.
And that's what Tom Brady did to us. That's what Baker Mayfield did to us. Like anytime we played up against a team that had multiple weapons, they destroyed us. But that's also why when we played a team like Seattle, who didn't have a whole bunch of weapons, when you really only had Metcalf that you had to deal with, we were able to hold on. We were able to beat those type of teams because they didn't have a whole bunch of wide receiver weapons that you have to stay on them for like 4 or 5 seconds, 20 seconds or 15 seconds or something like that.
Right.
You don't have to worry about that. So I think once they get a real, they need to get a real pass rush. And part of the reason we didn't have much of a pass rush is 2 of our starting outside linebackers, which is really the edge rushers in the 4-3 defense.
Yes.
They were out from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of injuries.
Yeah. So that was a big part of why we had to play the way we did. So I think next year, once we get everybody back healthy, I think we'll actually have a real training camp this year.
Yeah.
That's another thing that a lot of teams didn't have.
Yep.
And then this is also Daniel Jones is only his second year with the offense.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
It should be better second year in.
It should be better. You should have, because remember, he got a new offensive coordinator and no training camp.
Right.
No, he wasn't able to get reps with his wide receivers. Like you can't really, especially in football, training camp is key.
It's very important.
Training camp is key. And not only training camp, like I told you before, I remember we was talking about this before, and I was like, it's not only training camp, it's the OTAs.
Yes.
And the OTAs help keep you in shape all throughout the year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why you saw so many. I think to me, that's why I felt like you saw so many more ACL tears and different lower body injuries.
Yep. Soft tissue injuries. Yep.
Yeah. You didn't build up that muscle strength over the year that you normally would, because you would have to go to OTAs and everything like that in the off season.
Yeah,
so because of that, and then also you don't have access to the same facilities that you would normally have, because normally you'd be able to go train on your own to any facility and train with different guys and do different things. A lot of places were shut down, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, because nobody knew what was going on. So everything was shut down completely.
Right.
And then, now this year things will be opened up, even if we're not opened up as a society completely. I think more facilities will be open. More facilities will be open. You'll be able to get the training in that you need to get in, because we understand a lot more about what we're dealing with than we did last year.
I agree. That there were great points. I definitely fully agree with what you said. I mean, listen, they have some talent, the Giants do, and I can see them giving him a shot and seeing how it works. But isn't it the same situation that the Jets are in? Because my thing is, Sam Darnold is 23 years old. 23. This is going to be his third head coach.
Yep.
This is going to be his third coordinator. How can any quarterback be able to get a rhythm when you are in dysfunction? And correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but I don't think that there's any team in football that had a worse offense than the Jets.
Yeah, no.
The worst.
I can't think of. I think there was a game where I think the Jets only had 3 first downs or something.
Yeah.
Game. It was bad. Like it was bad. But I think it was for me, majority of that is on the coach. Because when you have Sam
Yes,
Darnold going on the Michael K show and he's saying like, I can't audible out of a play.
that's dumb.
What?
That's
As
dumb.
as an NFL quarterback, you telling me you can't go up to the line of scrimmage, see that if I got a run play called to the right and I see the linebacker sitting in the hole right where this play is supposed to run, you
I'm just
telling me I
about to call a
can't
play.
go, yo, don't run this play. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
In
that's-
high school, when
You
I was
audible.
in high school, we could audible plays on offense and defense. Our coaches told us, listen, if you see something that's not gonna work, yo, you audible out of it. You know the playbook.
Yeah, that's typical 101. Like,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
I'm telling you right now, you hear, you are an avid, listener and watcher of sports radios, sports TV, debate shows, and all that stuff. You constantly hear people say, "Oh, well, Sam Darnold didn't prove." How can he prove himself with that team?
Exactly.
Like,
With
explain
that
to
kind
me
of coaching.
with that type of coaching.
You
So
can't.
my thing is this. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're gonna trade a 23-year-old for another 23-year-old? Why
Who
don't you
hasn't
just
proven anything?
who hasn't had a snap in the NFL? At
Yeah.
least this kid has 3 years under his belt. He's seen some defenses. He knows exactly what looks good and what doesn't. Wouldn't it be better for you to give him a competent offense, give him a competent line, you trade down, or maybe you just take Penny Sewell at number 2,
Right.
and you have Mekhi Becton and Penny Sewell
Bookend tackles.
at your bookend tackles for the next decade?
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be better? And then also you still have a draft pick where you can go get Travis Etienne, and like there's so many things that you can be able to get
Yes.
in this draft for this
Yes.
young quarterback that you
Yes.
can literally, if you're the Jets organization, you can turn your franchise around this season. I'm not saying that you'll probably make the playoffs, but you can be able to be a 7, 8, 9 win team if things go well, and that's what you're looking for with the current quarterback that you have. I don't see how drafting a Zach Wilson makes sense. It doesn't make sense in any situation to me. It just doesn't.
Listen, the only way it makes sense is this. All right, if you're not, because you gotta remember, none of the people that are still here with the organization drafted him.
Drafted Darnold. Yeah, I understand it. Yes.
So they might want to get their guy, which I always felt was a dumb thing, because
It's dumb.
What does it matter if he's your guy as long as he can play football?
Talent is talent.
Yeah, exactly. But my only thing is, you know me, I like Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson's going to be successful in the NFL.
Right.
So my thing is, this is where it hurts Sam, is because you got to pay him soon. Right? Now, to me, that simply just says to me, yo, you pay him whatever you think he's worth. He hasn't done anything yet in the NFL, so he can't demand a high contract.
But that's the thing, he won't, because even if Sam ends up having a decent year next season, right? Say he throws for 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 9 picks. Sam Darnold's not going to go on the market and say, "Hey, I need $35 million."
Right.
You can get
Exactly.
You can get Sam Darnold for $25 million, and that's a good contract for a young player.
Especially if that's going to be your franchise quarterback going forward.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like, that's the only drawback I would say is, like, all right, it depends on how far you, like, where you feel you are in the rebuilding ladder.
Yeah.
If you still feel like you're at the beginning of a rebuild, then it's fine to get another quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get some draft capital for Sam.
Yeah.
Or if you can get another player back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you can get something for Sam, then I could see, getting rid of him and then going with Zach or whoever you feel at quarterback is gonna be, is gonna be the best. Whether it's Zach, whether it's Fields, whether I doubt they like Trey Lance like that. But whoever's gonna be.
They need to stay away from Trey Lance. Leave Trey Lance.
Dallas ain't getting Trey Lance, man. Come on. Dallas ain't taking Trey Lance.
We gonna get Trey Lance.
I can see the Giants going after Trey Lance more than I see Dallas going
Trey
after
Lance. I just don't want Trey Lance ending up on the Eagles. I swear to God, Bishop, if he ends up on the Eagles.
I mean, wait. So what did they get when they traded when they traded what's his face, what did they get back?
Well, Wentz.
Yeah,
They got a conditional first round pick, so it can change into a first round pick if Wentz
stays starts or something.
If he plays 75% of the snaps, which he's going to do.
Right.
So it's I don't think it's for this year. It's for next year. So
so that's nothing then.
Bro, they got $6 for Carson Wentz. That's what they got.
That's crazy. Okay,
they got $6 and some bubble gum.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to figure out. I feel like because they got better to me when they switched to what's his face?
Who?
To not the Eagles.
Oh, Jalen Hurts?
When they switched to Hurts.
Really?
They got better to me because you got to remember when they first made that switch to Jalen Hurts, the team started playing with more energy. Because the thing with Wentz was, I don't think it was only that the organization lost confidence in Wentz. I think it was his teammates lost confidence in him.
Well, you got to think about this too with Carson Wentz is that there's a statue of Nick Foles in front of the stadium.
Which doesn't make sense to me. That's the stupidest thing ever.
He is the starting quarterback. He is the franchise guy, and he has to look at Nick Foles every time he walks into the building. Like he will never live up to that standard. And I think once Nick Foles won that Super Bowl, it was over for Carson Wentz. It was over for Carson Wentz there because the team will always look at him like, man, we wish Nick was here because maybe Nick would have got us. Maybe Nick would have made that play. Maybe Nick would have got out of that sack. Like that's what it is. But the thing is, you say that Jalen Hurts, they played a little better. I'm not going to disagree with you that he gave them a different dynamic. But here's the issue. Jalen Hurts cannot throw the football to save his life. And Carson Wentz can. And they did not give that boy, they didn't give Carson Wentz a decent line, and that's why he regressed. Jalen Hurts can be able to run around back there like Russell Wilson and get beat up, but he can't throw the football.
Nah, Jalen can throw the football. Man,
come on, man.
Did you see that offense at Oklahoma when he was there, son, in college?
That is Lincoln Riley. Riley.
He was still making the throws, man. And he did it. And remember, he did it before Alabama too.
No, he didn't. He didn't do it.
He was throwing the ball, man. He could sling the ball, man.
There's a reason why Nick Saban said, I'm going to the lefty. I'm going to Tua because you ain't doing your job properly, and I gotta go to this kid. Like, he was not impressive in Alabama.
But if you remember, they went back to him in the championship.
Yeah, because Tua got hurt.
Yo, nah, they went back to him, bro. He was doing good.
They only went back then because Tua got hurt.
Listen, man, I think Jalen has the arm talent. I think the big thing in the NFL is rhythm. And you got to get the rhythm, especially if you're a quarterback. You have to have the rhythm with your wide receivers, and part of that is taking the snaps with the starting offense.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot of times in the NFL, majority of the time, if you're the backup, you almost never take any of the snaps with the starting.
Very true.
Even if dude got the sniffles, they still not letting you throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I think give him a training camp, give him some OTAs, let him get a chance to work with his wide receivers, and actually get to work with the offense, the playbook, and let the team, the offensive coordinator, draw up some plays that'll work well with Jalen Hurts. Yeah. And I think you'll see a better offense from them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I feel bad for Jalen Hurts because when you have Nick Sirianni as your head coach, it's gonna be rough. We're gonna put one foot in front of the other, and that's called walking. Like,
well, maybe he'll explain everything in so much detail that everybody on the team will get it.
His playbook is going to be with Lego blocks. That's what he's gonna have. Now,
oh my God!
Before we get off the NFL and move to the NBA, I'm begrudgingly wanting to move to the NBA. I want to talk about Mike Tomlin. Now, he had some comments the other day and was talking about Eric Bieniemy and how, he feels that it's unfair that Eric Bieniemy hasn't got a shot. And to me, I have gone back and forth with this because I love Mike Tomlin. I respect Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach. But you, sir, cannot be the spokesperson for this situation because in 14 years, you've never hired a black assistant. And I'm just saying, this is not your particular.
It's not his fight.
It's not your fight, my man. Bruce Arians is doing it for the culture.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin ain't doing nothing for us. Like, what are your thoughts? Because me and you are very, very similar in regards to how we feel about the NFL coaching dynamic. It's getting better, but it still ain't there yet.
It's not where it needs to be. But
yeah, but what are your thoughts on Mike Tomlin specifically?
Listen, my only thing that I can say about it is the question is, and it's not that I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just, playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
Maybe they don't let him get some of the coordinators that he might want to, you know what I'm saying?
So you think that he may not have control of his staff?
Right. He might not have full 100% autonomy on his staff, but I doubt it. I still think at the end of the day, he probably just, he might ask his quarterback who he wants. Like they might actually, listen to their different players and say, oh, who do you want for this? Who do you want for that? And that might be how his staff is built out. Or it just might be those are his friends and those are people he's cool with or whatever. And it doesn't just happens to not,
But Pete, I'm just saying, man, in 14 years, you couldn't even just buck up on a brother.
You know what? Like, I didn't even realize it though. Like
14 years.
I didn't even like if that whole thing. Like I remember I saw that on I saw Shannon Sharp say it.
Yes,
and I was like,
it was shocking to me too. Yeah, I had to look it up. I said, nah, he gotta be wrong. He gotta be wrong about that.
Yeah, like Tomlin, really? But you know what, man? The NFL is a strange place. Bro.
It's a strange place.
It's a strange.
That is well said.
And like just NFL coaching and football, like football coaching in general,
and the politics is just it's different.
It's a lot, man. Like I feel like there's got to be a reason why. Like, how is it that Bieniemy hasn't gotten a shot yet?
And he's been interviewed a ton.
Yeah, man. Like it's even if you say he gives a bad interview, who gives a fuck about an interview? Like if he got good plays and he could call a good game, like maybe him sitting across from you having this conversation is not the best thing, that's not a good use of his time. But if you put him in the locker room and in charge of people,
right,
and in charge of players, like he's more natural there.
Because the thing is, when you hear him speak, when you hear Eric Bieniemy speak, he controls the room. Like he's well spoken, he's energetic. I like how he speaks. So I can't see how he's gonna go into an interview. Maybe he's not an X and O's guy, or maybe he's not, a rah-rah guy. But neither was Todd Bowles. And Todd Bowles got a couple. Like it's just I don't know. It's
what's his name from the Browns that went to the Jets?
Oh my goodness,
Mangini.
Oh my goodness.
Like you trying to tell me he got personality,
bro?
No, man. So like I don't know, man. Like the NFL it is an all boy. It's an old boys club type of thing.
Yeah, it is.
And owners like yo, even with my Giants, they still have a certain way that they look at people in certain positions.
Right.
Like you have to have a certain look.
Yes.
And it has to be the Giants way. And
which
blah,
is
blah,
crazy.
Blah, blah. And it's like, things have to evolve and change.
Right.
Things have to evolve and change. You can't have the exact same thoughts that you had before. Everything is different now.
Right, I agree.
The world is a different place.
I agree.
It's part of the reason why I can't rock with baseball with a lot of this stuff that they do because y'all hold on so true to all this stuff that happened almost 100 years ago.
They still hold on to 1912, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you couldn't like the whole world wasn't even allowed to play the game that you were talking about 100 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you hold these guys like, yo, he's the best ever. He's this, he's that. You hold on to these records and like, yo, everybody wasn't even allowed in back then.
Right.
You don't know if he's the best. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy to me.
Listen, man, life wasn't even in color back then.
Word for real.
So it's just like, everybody walked around in black and white. That's how I feel. That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Every picture I saw was in black and white. So
It's
I'm
like the
sure
first 2 episodes of WandaVision, man.
exactly. That's exactly how they saw life. Everything was just black and white. You can't tell me nothing. Don't debate me.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
Let's move on to the NBA. Now, listen, I gotta give you your flowers. All right, I gotta give you your flowers because you, my friend, in the 20 years that I've known you, you are the most diehard. You are the most loyal. You are the only Nets fan that I know that used to travel from Queens Village to Newark, New Jersey, to the Prudential Center and watch games. Like, listen, you are, if the Nets go ahead and win this NBA championship, I am going to celebrate with you because you deserve it. You deserve it. You have been through so much with this organization, and you've always tried to see the
light at the end of the tunnel.
Light at the end of the tunnel. Exactly.
That's it, man.
Like,
That's all I can do.
What are your thoughts about, like, we'll talk, like, what are your thoughts about Brooklyn, and what are your thoughts about the NBA, and what teams are the biggest surprise to you? But let's talk about the Nets first.
Well, I go back even before that because I had season tickets back when they were still at Izon.
Wow.
I had the year that they were, I think it was the 12 and 70s. The 12 and 70 season.
So that's after kid years.
Yeah. I had season tickets. I had season tickets back then. So I was just like, you trying to tell me you going from Brooklyn all the way out there to watch the Nets lose 12 to win 12 games?
Right.
So like it was rough. It was rough, man. But like, listen, I love basketball. Basketball is my number one sport. I'm better at football. I went to college, played football, but basketball has always been my love. So,
right.
And like my mom's is the one that actually got me into being a Nets fan because she took me when I was little to see a Nets game in Jersey.
Yeah.
That, that's basically how I became a Nets fan because of her. Same way I became a Mets fan because she used to take me to Shea.
Right.
So, a lot of my sports scenes is because she used to take me to the games.
Yeah.
And so like, I just always was a Nets. I just like, what it was? I grew up around a lot of Knicks fans.
And you had to be opposite.
I just couldn't be that delusional. like, I mean, like my pops is a Knicks fan. And like, I used to sit around at home when I was a kid and I'm watching them, it's the 90s Knicks and everything. And, they're going up against the Bulls and all this other stuff. And they're like, every year the Knicks fans is, this is our year. This is our year. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, y'all know Jordan's still in the league, right? I was like, Jordan and the Bulls ain't going nowhere. They're still here. This is our year. We got it. So I'm watching and I'm like, I'm watching them with the heartache in the playoffs. And I'm like, y'all just do this to yourselves every year.
The pain, I'm telling you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Every year. And I'm like, I just couldn't associate myself with that kind of like delusion. So I like the Nets. I like their colors, whatever. I used to just be a fan of just teams back in like my favorite player of all time is Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
It's like I loved his energy. I loved the way that he used to play inside, outside back in the day when not a lot of people did that.
Right.
He played really, really good defense too. So he was a force on both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. And I just like the passion that he played with. So like I used to root for the Trailblazers when he was over there with Stoudemire and Sabonis and all them with Bonzi and everybody coming through. So like I used to, that was my West Coast team. My West Coast team was the Trailblazers and my East Coast team was the Nets.
Yeah.
And then going back to like how I became like, even the 2 years that Jordan retired, Knicks had their chance. I was like, Jordan's gone. Y'all got y'all shot. They're like, now it's definitely y'all time. And y'all still ain't do it. You know what I'm saying?
They got the game 7. Come on.
They got there.
Credit, man.
And they got there, and he didn't finger rolled when he should have dunked. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
don't bring up no. Come on, man. Don't come at Pat like that.
But in all seriousness, like that's really like that kind of solidified it for me. Like just seeing how they act, Knicks fans act. It's the same way with the Yankees. Like I could never be a Yankee fan.
Ever. Ever.
I could never be a Yankee fan just because of the way the fans acted.
Yeah.
So like that kind of, you know,
I don't even hate
stuff like that.
I don't even hate the Yankees. I just hate Yankee fans.
Right, exactly. Like I don't hate the Knicks themselves, like the organization. Like
the fans.
I don't care. It's the fans, man.
Yeah.
The fans are crazy. Like they go through this whole thing of, oh, we own the town, and you know they got the back pages, and I'm like, yeah, but what does that got you?
Listen, that's the thing with me is that, you know, I hear that all the time. Oh, well, you know, KD said it's a Nick, but he didn't choose y'all.
Yeah,
He went to Brooklyn.
yeah. It's like, yo, it's like people. Most Nets fans don't really care about the Knicks. Yo, there's so much anxiety being a Nets fan that something's gonna go wrong.
Right.
Like we don't got time to be thinking about the Knicks.
We ain't gotta be. Y'all ain't got no time to be worrying about no rival.
Yeah, word. Like
we're
so much other, you know,
so
much other angst and anxiety. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just trying to hope that our team could do what it's supposed to do in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had Darren Williams, and when Darren Williams got traded to the Nets, everybody was like, yo.
It was a big time.
It was a big move. Everybody was happy because, like, yo, first of all, nobody knew he was even on the block.
Right.
And remember, we did that in response to Melo going to the Knicks.
Yes.
And so we got Darren, and then like, yo, it was a good time. And Darren back then, they was talking about whether or not he was one of the best. He was the best point guard in the NBA.
He was one of the top 5 point guards in the NBA.
It was between him and Chris Paul.
Right.
And if you looked at when they used to go head to head against each other, Darren actually usually used to come up on top over Chris Paul.
Right.
But so you know, we all thought, you know, we've seen this story before, and that's why if you look at certain things, even when you go to games, the energy is different.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that rabid fan base.
Yes.
That like the Knicks have, or like the Yankees have, or even the Mets have, or the Jets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we don't have that rabid fan base because so much has gone wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it seems like they don't want to give like
it's a lot of tension.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, when is it gonna turn?
Yeah.
When is it gonna turn? And like what happened with Darren? It was doing good, everything was great, and then the ankles. The ankles was done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was never the same.
Right.
We trade for KG, Pierce, and Garnett. You know, we trade for KG, Pierce, and Terry and everything like that. We think we're gonna do this thing. You got Joe Johnson there. We got Darren. We got Brook Lopez. What happens? Brook Lopez go out for the year. You know what I'm saying? We had J Kidd come back to be the coach and everything. We doing all that. Get to the second round of playoffs, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always been that, you know, we'll get close, but then we just don't make it over the hump.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's definitely the Nets history, and it might be our time now. That's just basically what it might be, because Bishop, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I've watched basketball a long time. And I've seen the Miami Heat form, and that trio was great. I ain't never seen no trio like this.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Where you can have this type of firepower, and you know, I really don't know what to say about this team. The only thing I can say is that basketball levels itself out. And I know that as good as they are, they're going to have some challenges in the playoffs. I'm not saying that they can't overcome those challenges, but they will get tested. And I want to see that. I don't want to see the Nets cruise through the Eastern Conference playoffs, because at that point, we're not going to know how they're going to deal with adversity. I want to see them go through some struggles in the playoffs. So, you know, basketball is fun that way. It's going to be very interesting. You know, what are your thoughts on possibly Blake Griffin joining the team?
Oh my God. It was funny because when I heard about, I remember they were talking about when they both sat out Blake Griffin, the Pistons sat out Blake Griffin and the Cavs sat out Drummond.
Yeah.
And I saw that both of them were going to be buyout candidates. And I was just looking at it. I'm like, all right, so I know Blake is definitely getting bought out.
Yeah.
Because he got 2 years left.
Yes.
So I knew for a fact if they sit him now first of all, nobody's going to trade for Blake.
No,
Right. So if you're sitting him now and he got 2 years left on his contract, I knew he was getting bought out.
Yes.
Drummond was the one that I was like, because I want Drummond.
Still has trade value, but he's in the last year of a deal, and you're not going to give up anything for him.
Right, especially if you know that they're gonna buy him out more than likely.
Yeah,
like they're not gonna just keep paying him when they could buy him out and let him go somewhere else.
Yes.
So when I heard about that, I'm like, with our luck, it's just gonna be Blake's gonna come free and we're gonna get Blake. And I'm just like, I don't mind it, but I'm just still trying to figure out where the fit is.
Do you think that he still has something to contribute, or do you think that he shot?
I don't think he's shot. I think that he's playing in Detroit, and like, I mean,
it's Detroit.
It's Detroit. Like I look at the circumstance of him being in Detroit and everything like that. Like, he never wanted to go there. It's not like he chose.
Because remember, he had signed the big extension with the Clippers that off season.
Yeah,
and as soon as he was eligible, they traded him.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
Right.
So first, and that's why when they have the Clippers listed on the list as potential landing spot, there's no way in hell.
First off, why would he ever want to go back to a place where he's gonna have to use space heaters in a dehumidifier? I don't understand. I don't understand why he would want to do that. I don't get that.
Listen, like, there's no way in hell that I could see that he would even consider the.
No way.
I think even the first time he went back to LA to play against
it was very odd.
Didn't he yell at the owner and everything like that?
No,
like, they had like a little.
No, I think he completely ignored him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I knew it was something with the owner. Like, he didn't even give him like the time of day or something.
He didn't even acknowledge him.
Yeah, right. So that's why I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, nah, I can't see that happening.
Right.
Now, I thought he would go to y'all. I thought he was gonna go to the Lakers. That's where I think, and you know what, he still might. These are just rumors.
Listen, you know how I feel about Blake Griffin. A lot of people have asked me, Pete, and they've said, what do you think about Blake Griffin joining the Lakers? And he may be able to help in a limited capacity, but the only thing that goes through my mind, Pete, is that he's Clipper scum. He's Clipper scum. And I can't get over that. I can't get over that. Like, it's hard for me to look at him and ever see that man in purple and gold. I can't do it. Can't do it. It's like Chris Paul. The Clipper scum. He's always good. Look, now he's on the Suns. You go from the Clippers to the Suns. You are definitely an enemy of the state. You are definitely an enemy of the state.
Listen, all I can tell you, man, is you see you're spoiled. All right,
I am not.
You are spoiled, and I'll tell you why you're spoiled. Because you are a Lakers fan, and you have a plethora of championships to pull from, and you've seen a plethora of championships in your lifetime.
I've seen 6.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. So you had to say it, didn't you? So you've seen, that success. You've been to the mountaintop. Yes. So you could be like, oh, I don't need a Blake Griffin, even if he could help our team. I don't want him because he's Clipper scum. Listen, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? If Blake Griffin want to come to the Nets and he can help us win, jump on board, man. Let's go.
It's different though, because think of it, you guys need bodies. You guys need active bodies. Doesn't matter who it is, you need some bodies to put on there. But my thing is this with Blake Griffin, and this is why I asked you the question: is he shot? Because Blake Griffin hasn't dunked in 2 years. That's one. Defensively, he's never been great. And his body is starting to break down, which means that his defensive lateral quickness is even worse now.
Yeah.
So I don't know where exactly he would, like, I can see how he can fit with you guys because you have a lot of firepower. You're just going to need him to be able to do what he can do. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt you guys getting a little bit of offense out of Blake. You can play him 15 to 20 minutes. He'll give you what you can give you, and that's it. For the Lakers, we need rim protection. We need rebounding. We need guys that can be able to move their feet in the pick and roll situation. Blake can't do any of that. So how does he help us? I think he helps the Nets more than us. You know what I'm saying? And that's my point.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. My thing is, like, the same thing. You need rim protection. We need rim protection.
Yeah.
We're not getting him for that.
Yeah.
we would just be getting him for depth.
Right. Just for a
And
body. Yes.
that's really all it would be. He would help rebounding wise.
Yes.
Because career wise, because he's I think he's around like 8 or 9
He's
rebounds
still,
a
yeah,
game
he's
for his career.
his rebounds have dipped because he's not as physical anymore. He's more outside
Right.
now. So
Right.
yeah. But he
Yeah.
can still
So
rebound. He can still
he can
grab
still
about
rebound.
7 rebounds a game.
Listen, man, we could combine him and DeAndre Jordan and make one good NBA player. But but yeah, like we could definitely use him on the
Yeah.
team just to take away minutes from somebody that might be a fringe NBA player, like somebody like a TLC maybe.
Yes.
Who is wildly inconsistent.
Yeah. He needs some work.
Inconsistent. So yeah, like he when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
But when he's not, oh my God.
Right.
Like,
Right. It's
you
bad.
know what I'm saying? Like he's feast or famine.
Right.
So having a person, the caliber of a Blake Griffin, even if he's coming off the bench or whatever, for a bench unit, that'd be good. You know what I'm saying? Coming off
I
the
agree.
bench,
Yes.
he would be perfect. You have
Yes.
him running with Harden and Landry Shamet and you maybe put a Tyler Johnson in there.
Jeff
I
Green.
could even see him playing. Yeah, well, see, I would more so put Jeff Green in the starting lineup if I was gonna do that, and have him play with have him at the 4
Okay.
and KD at the 3.
Okay.
You could do that. And you can do the same thing. Even if you want to start, say you want to start Blake Griffin, you want to ease him into it, you want to start him and put him at the 4 and have KD, you know what I'm saying? And then if in small ball lineups, you can go small ball and have DeAndre off the floor,
Right.
have Griffin at the 5 or whatever, and have him and KD just interchange, because KD's gonna go down there and play post defense and stuff like that also.
Yeah.
So my main concern is I have a lot more faith in Nick Claxton. Like, I love Nick Claxton.
He's good, man. He's just very thin.
He's very thin, but he's so active.
Yeah.
His feet are so active. And like he was playing when we were playing against the Spurs the other night. He was playing, like, he switches on everything. We play 100% switching defense, and he switches on the guards.
Yeah.
And against the Spurs, he switched onto the guard, cooking him.
Yeah.
Tried to cross him over. He cooking him and took the ball to the other and took it to the rack the other side.
Yeah.
So like he has that kind of, and then I think he had 3 other blocks that night. You know what I'm saying? I think he had 17 points with 3 blocks, and I think I forgot how many rebounds he had. So like every game he's increased, and you could tell that he's not up to speed yet, because he hasn't played in a year.
Yeah.
Like the last time he played was in the G League.
Right.
Because we sent him down to the G League last season before the league shut down.
Yeah.
So his last game was probably in March sometime of last year. So it's been almost an entire full year, and he had shoulder surgery during the bubble, and then he had the knee tendonitis in the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So it's taken him a while. Like a lot of people didn't even know about him.
Right.
And people were like, "Oh, who's this Nick Claxton kid?" But when he played for us last year, when a game against the Bulls, I think it was, he had like 15 points. 15 points, like 5 rebounds or whatever, and he was, hitting threes.
He's
taking
talented.
dudes off the dribble.
Yeah.
So he can block shots. So I like him. I just don't want to stunt his growth by having Blake Griffin on the team.
Right.
So that is my only concern with it, and especially depending on what kind of contract we give him, because I don't see.
I don't. He's gonna take something a little bit over the vet men. Yeah,
Right,
I don't. Yeah,
right.
He's not gonna take anything crazy because he.
Right, and I don't
gave up
see
a
him being like a
ton.
multi. Yeah,
No,
he gave him
it's
like
just-
16. I think he gave up 16 million.
Yeah,
He said he gave him 16 million.
it's gonna be a 1-year deal, and Blake is gonna be able to hit the market next season. So
Right.
this is like you said, this is just depth move and kind of trying to get a rotation in order for the playoffs, because you guys, it's all about the playoffs at this point. It's not about the regular season. It's about getting Blake up to speed and making sure that those legs are good for the playoffs.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we still do have 3 roster spots. So
Yeah.
I doubt Roberson stays. I don't see him. He hasn't shown enough to me in the games that he has played. He
Right.
definitely can't shoot. He brings nothing offensively, but you really just need him to play defense.
Yeah.
And he hasn't shown enough to me defensively to warrant keeping him on the team. If you have other people that you think you could fill those spots with.
Yeah.
Same thing with Shumpert. Shumpert barely played. I think he played maybe 2 games.
Okay.
Since when we first signed him, he had a hamstring injury. So that kept him out, and then he just hasn't cracked the rotation at all. And he's played a couple of garbage minutes here and there, but he hasn't really shown much either. So those 2 guys, and then we also brought up, I think it was Tyler we brought up this kid Tyler from the G League, and he hasn't really got to do much. And in the little bit that he's gotten to play, he hasn't really shown much.
Yeah.
So I think for the most part, they're just biding their time to the buyout market to see who they can get, and if
Yes.
they can get Drummond and Blake, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll just be a conglomerate of all of these.
Don't you even wish that into existence. Don't you even dare. Because
Like,
I swear, if that happens, what's the point of watching basketball this year? What's the point?
Yo,
What's
you
the
still
point?
gotta win, man.
No.
Yo, the 76ers still got Embiid, man. He the MVP.
Yeah, but you're gonna have the entire 2K15 team on your team.
Yo,
I don't need that.
Yo, I was
need
looking
that.
at that. Like, you think about it, we got like we're the conglomerate of all these older teams,
Yo.
like just mashed together. We got the OKC trio with a Green, Durant, and Harden, and then you got the little conglomerate from the Clippers with Blake and DeAndre.
Like,
Then
I don't understand. I don't get
then
it.
you got Bruce Brown and Bruce Brown, Blake and Drummond.
And then
will
you
be
got
from
the coaching
Pistons.
staff, the old Phoenix. You got old Phoenix.
Yo,
in
yeah,
there.
the old Phoenix coaching staff.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Listen, man, we just try to take from all the success that we can from any other team that we just try to bring it together to get us that chip, man.
Goodness, man. Agatha,
Listen, look,
y'all are
whatever I
Agatha
could take,
Harkness. That's what y'all
whatever
are.
whatever I could take to get the chip at this point, bro. I just
I
want to see it.
I
I just
respect
want to see it, man. I just want to see
can't-
one.
I can't dispute you. I can't knock you. I'm not gonna hate. Kudos to the Nets. Kudos to the Nets. But if y'all
Listen,
get
man.
Drummond, I'm gonna be really sad. Like, I'm not even gonna be mad. I'm just gonna be more sad than anything else. What are your thoughts on the current state of the Lakers? They're in a struggle right now to have some active bodies. I am in the minority when I say that, or I'm in the minority thinking that Anthony Davis is going to be fine. I think his situation is more KD than anything else.
100%.
I think that that's an Achilles problem.
Yes.
That they're masking,
Mhm.
and it's a ticking time bomb at this point, Pete.
Right.
This is not good. It's
No.
not good.
No, because all right, so you gotta look at the timeline too. First, what they said it was a sore, like he had a sore Achilles.
He had Achilles tendonitis.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is terrible.
Right.
Which is a terrible thing, because
Yes.
I know when you sometimes, us being old, sometimes you wake up in the morning, you feel that Achilles real tight
Yes.
and feel like anything could pop that joint. We're
Right.
not playing basketball like that.
Right.
So that was the first thing. And then they talking about, it's a calf strain. I'm like,
Right.
Yo,
once you said calf strain, that was it
calf
for me.
strain, ding, 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 KD.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they were all saying that it was with KD.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a calf strain. Oh, and the calf strain didn't have nothing to do with the Achilles popping. Get out of here, bro.
Right.
It's all attached, man.
It's all attached.
It's all
And
attached.
that's what they don't understand, Pete, is that I call Achilles injuries snipers, because you don't know where they are. Because the thing is, if it's not a significant tear within the Achilles, you can't rule it as a torn Achilles.
Right.
You just have to look at it. Oh, okay. There's some tightness. There's some soreness in the calf, so it has to be a calf strain. No. It's the Achilles.
Yeah.
It's the Achilles.
And that's the thing. People don't realize like how the Achilles works. And it's like, because it's literally a rubber band that goes from the heel of your foot all the way up through your leg, through your calf.
Right.
So because I had a friend that tore both his Achilles.
Oh yeah, shout
out to Ronald.
Shout out to Ronald, man. What a warrior he was.
Yo, son, he will never play basketball with us again, because both times he came out.
Yo, where the jinx? Where the jinx?
It was crazy. And but he explained it to me, like, when they repair your Achilles, like when they repaired his Achilles, they had to get, like, the first time they did the surgery, right? And it popped again. And what they had to do was they had to go into his calf and pull it back down and stretch it down.
Because it rolled up into the calf.
Right. It rolled up. So like when they did the initial surgery, they didn't get enough of it to keep it. And then it, went back up, and they had to pull it. You got to stretch it back down You know what I'm saying? So like when I heard that, that lets me know that yo, you could pop your Achilles in your calf
Yes.
if like it
You can
doesn't
pop
have
it
to
at any particular place.
yeah, it doesn't have to be in the at the heel. It could
Right.
be further up. So that's why when I heard him, saying that okay, they're gonna rest him up because it's an Achilles, it's a calf strain. I'm like, yo, that sound like Katie's
Yep.
situation to me, and
Yep.
I don't know if he's gonna be healthy the rest of the year.
I don't think so. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, they originally said, oh, it's gonna be 2 to 3 weeks. They're gonna evaluate. I was looking at it more of 6 to 8. Like if you're gonna rest them, you might as well rest them for the entire regular season and bring him back into the playoffs, or bring him back a couple of games prior.
I would say like 2-3 weeks before, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just let him rest it up. Get as much rest as you can is what I would say. Like if I'm the organization, I'm the
Right.
like, I'm like, yo, listen, we already know what you could give us. Like it's not gonna be an issue reinserting you into the offense, into the rotation. Yo, just rest it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need you. Like I don't think they need him to get to they just need him there healthy in the playoffs.
Right. Seeding to the Lakers this season doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a thing.
No.
So they can go anywhere between 1 and 5 and still be fine. Like there's no urgency in regards to seeding for them. But
right.
Where do they get better? Like, they're already over the cap. They're in the tax bracket right now in regards to the tax penalties. They are strapped. I don't know where they can be able to find any help. And what's very upsetting to me, Pete, is that you know who they're starting to look at in regards to the buyout market?
Ooh.
JaVale McGee.
Oh wow.
We had JaVale McGee and you traded him for Marc Gasol.
Yeah,
what sense does that make? Like
I didn't understand that part.
I didn't get it either. I didn't get it.
I didn't.
Well, look, I understand that. I understand what Pelinka's theory was. His theory was to get Marc Gasol, have a team that can be able to switch and play multiple positions, have a versatile team, and have AD play mostly center this year.
Okay.
Be able to rim protect. Because when you have Marc Gasol, he can give you what he can give you. He can be able to be a post defender, but he's not a great rim protector. He's never been a great rim protector in his entire career. So that plan has now gone out the window. You don't have AD. Marc Gasol is not a great defender down bottom. We are terrible in the pick and roll. And that's where teams are killing us every night. Pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll. They're driving to the basket, sucking the defense in, and they're kicking it out, and they're hitting threes at an alarming rate against the Lakers. So I don't know where they go from here. Listen, I think a miracle is going to need to happen. If Drummond gets bought out, they're going to have to pull a miracle to get Drummond.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see them having a chance to compete, because if AD ain't healthy, they don't have a shot at winning a championship this year.
No,
not a shot.
No. And I think y'all will get better just off the strength that I think LeBron right now is coasting.
Yeah,
I think he's realizing like, all right, AD is gonna be out. I'm gonna have to carry us, but also the others, as Shaq and them will call them, they're gonna have to step up, and he's giving them that opportunity to step up and get better.
Right.
The only other way y'all could get better is try to trade Kuzma. I think he's the best bargaining chip that y'all have that somebody might want.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much that would necessarily hurt y'all to get rid of him, but it all depends on what you get for him.
Yeah,
I think part of the reason they gave him the extension was to be able to match salaries to be able to trade something.
Yeah, I don't think that trading Kuzma right now is the smart idea. A lot of teams are calling about THT. I don't want to trade him either. But the thing with THT is that he's a restricted free agent this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And some team can be able to give him a poison pill contract.
Yeah.
And are they willing to match that? I don't know. I don't know,
Right.
but you can't lose a young player like that unless you're gonna do some. If you know you're gonna lose them, sign and trade and get something for them. But
Right.
it's it's tough. But what are your thoughts on the current state of the NBA? Like, what teams have surprised you, and what teams have really disappointed you?
Surprising. I would say one of the more surprising teams to me. You know what? I'm gonna go with Memphis, to be honest with you, because even without Ja,
Yeah,
they've been balling.
yeah, they're pretty good.
They've been balling, and they haven't had their full roster most of this year.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? And they got a lot of good young talent. They've been playing really well, and that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Phoenix took a jump that I wasn't expecting with even though I know they added CP3 or whatever, but like I still wasn't. Yeah, I saw what they did in the bubble, and you just weren't sure if that was sustainable.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't really sure if they were going to be able to take that to the next level, and they've been actually playing really really well.
Shouts to Monty Williams. He's a great coach.
Word, yeah, Monty's a very good coach. I'm happy he's gotten that opportunity, and I'm happy that it's going well for him.
Yeah.
Utah, I'm not gonna say Utah is who they should have been, last year. You know what I'm saying? Like Utah's playing really really well.
Yeah.
I know you hate Rudy Gobert.
Oh my God.
But I think they've been playing lights out.
Do you think they have a legit shot though?
If they can keep shooting the way that they're shooting,
Yeah.
because that's what's really been. They're playing good defense, but they're really shooting lights out.
Yeah.
You got Bogdanovich shooting the hell out of the ball. Donovan Mitchell was hitting crazy. Was hitting at a high percentage during that streak. Who else? Conley's been playing like some of the best ball
Right.
that he's played in a very long time.
Right.
I'm happy that he finally got his all-star shot, first time in his 14 years.
Shout out to Conley.
Yeah, so like they've been doing their thing. Do I believe in them 100%? No, because I don't believe in Gobert.
See, I'm not the only one. You gonna throw the shot out like I don't like Gobert, and then
No. I said I don't believe. I didn't say I didn't like him. I know you hate him with a passion. I just said I don't believe in him.
I don't listen. Here's the thing. I don't hate Rudy Gobert. I hate the contract that comes with Rudy Gobert because it's an albatross around that team's neck.
100%.
That's just my thing.
100%.
I feel that they would be better off getting a rim runner without Rudy Gobert. I think that it would still be good. That's just my opinion. It's a guy making $37 million and he's averaging 13 points, 12 rebounds. No.
And that's the thing. Like he's such an offensive liability,
right?
That you don't know what you're gonna get from him from night
in,
night out.
And you can't. And that's not a championship formula. It's not.
And then if you see like what Embiid did to him the other night,
right?
What's the point of you? If you
having him,
your whole point of being here is to be able to stop guys like him.
Is that I pay you to play defense, and you still get abused by Joel Embiid. What's the point?
Yeah. And Jokic too. Like Jokic gives him business.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't believe in him.
Yeah.
Clarkson is good though. Clarkson's
yes, he is.
Balling.
Yes, he is.
Clarkson's been
all the Lakers except Lonzo Ball have been balling.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's just.
But
that speaks to the Lakers.
Listen, we know how to draft.
Listen, y'all know how to draft. Y'all just don't know how to develop players. That's
no.
Y'all never had to though.
There you go.
Never had to.
We are not in the development business.
Yeah.
We draft you and we ship you out.
Yes.
We ship you out
to get a star, and every
You're
star
damn
wants
right.
to go there.
Yes.
And that's why I like this is like the first time that I'm experiencing what it is to be a Lakers fan in the sense that everybody want to come to the Nets. Like normally when it's like a free agent or buyout or whatever, Lakers is always in there, and they still are. Lakers is there. But now you're seeing the Nets there.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get worse in the offseason. I'll tell you that much.
It's such a weird feeling, man. Having a team that's a front runner I've never.
Yeah,
just saying it made me had to cough just now because it's just.
It kind of feels like Boston Red Sox fans when they actually won the World Series.
Yeah,
Like,
I could see
like,
that when
if
the
they-
worm finally turned.
right, when you guys win the NBA title at some point, you're not gonna know how to react. There's not gonna be you're not gonna jump up and like have this celebration. You're gonna have this moment where you're just gonna sit there and say,
In
"Yo,
utter shock,
like what just happened?"
utter and complete shock.
Yeah, like what
utter
happened?
and complete shock.
Did we win? Like I don't. Did the TV go? Like is there something wrong with the TV? I don't understand what I'm seeing here. This is
it's so different because it's just because like I know what a bad organization is run like.
Yeah.
Once you've seen like all the years of just watching the Nets be run,
Right.
I've seen how bad organizations are.
Right.
And like it's just once Sean Marks took over, like it was just a breath of fresh air. Like it was crazy. Like the first thing he did was he increased the staff.
Right.
Like what he did was he went around the building and he saw how the Spurs did things and he saw how the Nets were doing things. He was like I think he added like 15, 20 more jobs just to the staff, to the scouting department, to the training staff, to all like he built an infrastructure inside the organization that you didn't even know you needed if you were the fan because you assumed that every team would have that. And
would have it. Yeah.
And they don't because it depends on if you have a team that's willing to spend the money and just knows how a business is supposed to be run. And when Sean Marks got there, he changed everything up. It's funny because people don't know a lot of the things that he did, especially like, they always talk about that the Celtics trade, how bad it was and everything like that, and giving up all of those picks and everything. But we still picked in the first round all of those years.
Yeah.
Every single one of those years that we were supposedly losing our picks to the Celtics, we picked in the first round all of those years.
Right.
And we came up with good players. We got, once you draft well and you have good talent evaluation, you're gonna be a good organization. That's
Definitely.
one thing that Sean Marks brought there. He finds diamonds in the rough all over the place.
I agree.
He drafts in the 20s and he drafts well. Like Nick Claxton, we got him in the second round. Jared Allen and Karis LeVert, they were I think Karis was the 19th pick and I think Jared Allen was number 21st.
Yeah, late round picks.
He got they picked up Spencer Dinwiddie after he torched the Long Island Nets in the G League for like 30 points twice, I think it was.
Right.
They picked him up. And I remember at the time all the fans were tight because we had just picked up Yogi Ferrell.
Yes.
And Yogi Ferrell had like one or two good games and then we got rid of him.
Right.
And picked up Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, who the hell is a Spencer Dinwiddie? Like, what are we doing? Yogi Ferrell is the future. And now you look at it and you're like, wow, we were all crazy for not trusting Sean Marks. Like, Sean Marks got a first and a second round pick from Toronto for taking on DeMarre Carroll's contract.
Right. How?
He got a first and a second round pick for that. And DeMarre Carroll ended up starting the entire year for us. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, he's done so much. So you see what a good organization can do for you. And it's so different. Now we got, we signed KD, we signed Kyrie, the James Harden trade. Like, I remember at first I even told you, I was like, I don't want to trade all of our bench depth because like, we need that team. But I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, you got to trust what Sean Marks is going to do, and he knows what he's doing. So
he drafts well, so he can be able to find those guys. Yeah,
he'll be able to find those guys. He finds guys in the G League. TLC we found off the scrap heap. Tyler Johnson off the scrap heap. Joe Harris off the scrap heap. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that we have that supports the stars, they're cast off some other teams that we saw something in and we developed it.
Yeah, that's true, man. So. Right before we wrap up, Beat, I like to do a rapid fire with my guests. So I'm going to spit out some names to you. And, you're going to tell me, who you pick, like, who you think is better. It doesn't have to be opinionated. I'm not going to argue with you. This is just your opinion. Let's see. Who's better, Dwayne Wade or Tracy McGrady?
I got to go Dwayne Wade.
Interesting.
Two-way player, one of the best one of the best two guards to ever play the game. Probably number three, I would say maybe number three is the best two
Yeah,
guards to
he's
ever
up
play
there.
the game.
He's up
Number
there.
three. One of the best blockers for a guard
Yes.
ever,
Yes, I agree.
ever in the league. So yeah, I gotta go with the Flash. I gotta go with the Flash. Man.
Better point guard, Jason Kidd or Steve Nash?
Why you doing this to me? What are you trying to do to me, man? I gotta go J Kidd. I can't do that. I gotta go J Kidd.
Yeah, of course, man. He was the man, and he was doing triple doubles before triple doubles were cool. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. He has 61. I think he has 61 career triple doubles with the Nets. The next player on that list was
Had like
was
two.
Nah, he was like six. It was like six. James Harden's already number two. James Harden has 8 already, son.
That's
like it's crazy.
That's
So,
crazy.
listen, I knew J Kidd was the point guard for me when he rolled the basketball like a bowling ball down the court and it was pinpoint accurate down the court for an outlet. I've never seen anything like that. I gotta go with J Kidd.
All right. Better pure point guard. John Stockton or Chris Paul?
I gotta go with Chris Paul.
Okay.
I understand what Stockton, did with Malone and everything like that, but I don't think Stockton will be where he is without Malone. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Malone is like a superstar player, and like his talent was ridiculous in the NBA.
Yeah.
So he had talent, he had a skill set that not too many players his size had.
Yes.
So I think he elevated Stockton. Like I understand Stockton was a great passer and everything, but I think if those two weren't together, Stockton wouldn't be as high as he is.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Chris Paul. Chris Paul goes wherever he goes, the team is successful.
It's very true. Very
And
true.
if it wasn't for him getting hurt in the Western Conference Finals, they would have beat Golden State, man.
He probably had a ring.
They'd have beat Golden State.
Yeah. Okay. Better defender. Scottie Pippen or Kawhi Leonard?
Ooh. I gotta go with Scottie.
Gotta go Scottie.
I gotta go with Scottie. I feel like I understand that Kawhi is a great defender, but I always felt like they overrated him defensively on those Spurs teams.
Yeah.
Because to me, yeah, he was playing on LeBron or whatever. But if you looked at the rest of the players on defense, they all had a foot in the lane.
Yes.
Like they were all you got if you have it if you look at the way the court is set up and you got LeBron at the top of the key with Kawhi on him, there's 4 other players with their foot right on the lane.
Yeah.
Ready to squeeze it as soon as LeBron passes Kawhi. And LeBron can get by Kawhi. It's not like Kawhi is gonna be able to stop LeBron from going around him.
Right.
LeBron can do it, but LeBron knew once he goes around him, the entire team is collapsing on him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Kawhi is a great defender. Yes, not gonna try to discredit him that way, but I like Scottie a little bit better. I gotta go
Okay. All right. And last one, favorite net. Is it Vince Carter or is it? Let me see. Hold on. I gotta think about a throwback here. Is it Kerry Kittles?
Oh my God. It's funny. It's crazy. I met Kerry Kittles this year. Last year. Shout out to Kerry. He signed my book bag in front of Barclays.
Nice.
Ooh. Jeez. Yo, that's a tough one.
So that's a good one.
Because Kerry is homegrown. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Vince was special.
Yeah. I gotta go Vince. But damn, that's a tough one. Yeah, but definitely Vince. Vince was spectacular, man. I just felt like if they had kept Kenyon Martin around, we'd have got one of those shit.
It would have been possible. All right, last one. Who would you rather have, Steph Curry or Allen Iverson?
What am I doing? Am I building an organization or what am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I starting my organization with them?
Yeah.
Ooh. I think I gotta go to Steph.
Okay.
Like I know Allen Iverson's heart and his determination, but Curry's 3-point shot, man.
It's a game
Curry's
changer.
3-point shot he pulls from anywhere inside half court.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
And that could change. That changes the game. Like, he changed the entire NBA.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. So yeah, I agree with you, man. Well, listen, my man Bishop, it's been a pleasure. This was fun. You made me laugh a lot. You didn't kill me with your Nets talk. Nice. Yeah, you were a little nice. I respect it. The next time you come on here, you're not gonna be so nice, especially if the Nets win a championship. Oh, listen.
Yes.
I may have to hold it. If the Nets win the championship, I'm gonna have you on like 5 months after.
Because I was gonna get on you about your James Harden take about the whole forcing his way. I was gonna get on you. I was like, you know what? Let me let him rock. I'm gonna let him rock. So I'm gonna let you rock with that.
Oh,
I'll get you on that another time.
Yes, sir. But like, it's been real, man. So I'll definitely have you on again, and we'll see how this NBA season pans out, man.
Well, like I said, thanks for having me. And like I said at the beginning, I'm happy you're doing what you're doing. Wishing you all the success in the world, and I can't wait. I know it's coming, so I can't wait to see it.
I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, man. Stay up.
I'd like to thank my man Peter Bishop for coming on the show. Like I said, I've known him forever. We always talk sports. It's always a great conversation, and he can talk for 6 to 8 hours just about the Nets, and it's just enough. I know he loves them. I respect it, but. If they win the championship this season, I'm really going to have to, like, maybe disappear for a while. Like, I'm not going to be able to deal with it. Really not. But I will be happy for him. Still not going to be able to deal with it, especially if they beat the Lakers. Coming up after the break, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. On a Saturday. It's all even.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Whoa, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast.
Yeah, don't get the joint. What's up?
All Even.
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this what's up, man? All Even. Yo, you. Oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now that's a shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump in
All
the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All Even.
Shout out to All Even podcast, right? All Even. That's your man.
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast.
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. I shout him out, G.
Cool, man.
This is Cigar Gents and Gals. Just want to give a shout out to All Even Podcast, the best sports podcast out there. Keep up the amazing work. Also check us out at cigargentsandgals.com. We're everyday apparel for cigar smokers. Let's get it.
What's going on? What's up with you? It's your boy the Candyman, the ALFRE to the D. It's your boy Alfred from the Rap Lab Podcast.
And it's the one and only True G. Just call me the QG from the Rap Lab Podcast.
And you tuned in to All Even with Barry Grant.
Boy, that shit crazy.
Welcome back, y'all. So without further ado, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
We pick candidates on Tuesday and Saturday, and then we pick the winner on that Saturday show. So since I was MIA for, a pretty extended period, there hasn't been much candidates, but I have one. I have a good one. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner is the NBA and the NBA dunk contest. The dunk contest is definitely my
Dummy, yeah.
because what I remember of the dunk contest is there used to be a lot of people, a lot of contestants, a lot of guys that wanted to actually win this thing. So you mean to tell me, Your Honor, that we're in 2021, there's advancements in science in regards to taking care of the body. Athletes are bigger, stronger, faster, jumping higher, all of these things. And we got 3 candidates, just 3. There's not 6, 5, 3 dunkers. And these are not like the 3 best dunkers in the NBA. No. Anthony Simons, I didn't even know he could dunk. Obi Toppin, yeah, okay, he's legit. Seen him dunk at Dayton. He can fly. Cassius Stanley. This is the dunk contest. Your Honor, help me understand what has gone on in the NBA. Like, is this what we're gonna get now? From Jordan to Dominique Wilkins, Jason Richardson, Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant, Harold Miner, hey, even Brent Barry. All of these guys. We got 3 dudes. 3. They must have went to everybody. Hey, you want to be? Nope. Hey, you want to be? Nope. Hey, you want? They might as well just call people off the street now. It's gotten to the point where you can just take tryouts and just let whatever city you're in, let those guys just dunk, because it'll be way more interesting than these 3 dudes. Like, it's like they're having a dunk contest just to have it in name. And they're just like, all right, well, let's just get this out of the way. Like, this is embarrassing, man. This is embarrassing. The NBA should be embarrassed. Your Honor, the NBA should be embarrassed for putting on such a disgraceful showing. To have a dunk contest tomorrow and have 3... You can't even go make popcorn and come back and watch it because it'll be over. It'll be over. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Either have a respectable dunk contest or don't have it at all. I say to the jury, don't have it at all.
Here comes a new challenger.
Wait a second. There's a new case I like to bring to your attention. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has not fulfilled his obligations for All-Star Weekend. He was supposed to have a Zoom meeting or interview, and he completely blew it off. What is the problem with Kyrie Irving? He can't get right. Like, you're gonna participate in the All-Star game. You're gonna do all of this stuff, but you don't want to speak to the media. What type of knucklehead nonsense is this? He's like a child. He's like a child, and the NBA continues to enable his behavior. He's like that kid that gets forced to go on vacation, and then when you guys get there and he doesn't want to eat, he just wants to sit there and make everybody's life miserable. So you just keep him in the room, put some crackers there, and y'all go have fun. You're not gonna let this little idiot ruin your fun, right? It's just that's the way Kyrie Irving behaves, and it's enough already. Like, just stop being a knucklehead. Stop being this super woke guy. Because at the end of the day, you look bad. You look bad. And how many times are you going to look bad in a season? Off the court. So the NBA dunk contest and Kyrie Irving. Big names, but huge disappointments in person. But both are winners for Dummy of the Week. That's all for this show. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, stay cool. Peace. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at All Even Podcast. Listen to the show on Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, and wherever podcasts are available. And check out my YouTube channel, All Even Podcast. And don't forget to share, like, and hit that subscribe button.